In round 4, Charlton Mnyasta played against Tobias Koelle from Germany.
We have a Sicilian on the board, Sicilian Rosalimo, e6, castle, knight e7, bishop e3, bishop e7, and black in the long run is looking at playing f5 and potentially f4 with the rook on f8 after castling. Knight to b3 is a new move, perhaps not the most encouraging new move as the knight is withdrawn from the center. Instead, pawn to c3 has been seen a lot more with the idea of playing knight d2 and pawn to f4.
This position, after castling, Charlton played knight d2, maybe not the most accurate move as it allows d5. Actually, black should have played d5 in the game, and with a much freer game. Instead of knight d2, possibly knight c3 would have been the better option. So
Queen h5 played over here. Perhaps instead of queen h5, we had a more direct attempt, but with queen h5, black got a chance to play pawn to f5, and the knight on g6 is planning on going to h4, and sometimes it will even go to f5 after a capture on e4. So the knight and the bishop on e7 working nicely there, and instead of going queen h5, white could have played pawn to f5 immediately, not allowing black to play f5, pushing the knight to e5. It seemingly looks good over there, but after queen h5, white can play rook to f4 and rook a to f1 with ideas of playing knight to d4 and knight f3, bringing the whole cavalry over to the king's side. Instead, white allowed black to play pawn to f5.
In this position, Charlton possibly misses black's idea and continues with bishop d3. This move is a bit slow and allows black to play knight h4. Better, instead of bishop d3, would have been rook f3 immediately, threatening rook h3. If black plays as a sample variation queen e8, rook h3, h6, white can play e5. And although the position is still very tense, but white is better in this position. However, after bishop d3, black starts to improve the position by playing knight h4. And there we can see black is attacking the pawn on g2, potentially with the knight as well as the bishop. And also black's main idea is to take on f4 and then move the knight to f5 to a much better square. So bishop f2, g6, queen h6, rook f7, and g3. Again, this move we frown upon because black will take on e4 anyway. Possibly better to play rook a e1, and if black continues like in the game, there's more coordination in white's pieces since there is no pawn on g3. However, now we see the difference. The queen on h3 is not necessarily communicating with the other pieces. Yeah, but Charlton finds a way to get back to the game, and possibly here in this position, instead of playing knight b2, rook a e1 was a very interesting move because the knight on b3 is actually needed on the d4 square. For example, if e takes f4, g5, bishop e7, knight b4 would then be very strong. And the whole idea is to get to the black king on the diagonal by removing the knight and then moving the bishop to d4. And we will see in the game, this idea is one of white's main ideas, but unfortunately in the game, Charlton is not able to make this idea work. So we played knight d2, the opponent continues, e takes f4, g5, bishop e7, and now b4. So now we see he's trying to play b5 so that his bishop can then go to d4. But unfortunately, black has got enough resources here to stop this plan. Rook g7, and everything is exchanged, and now knight takes b4. Although white has succeeded in getting the d4 square, but black's pieces are coordinating nicely, and we actually see that white's king is unfortunately weaker than black's king. Bishop b1, knight takes b5, rook a5, bishop c6, and the queen on h6 although it looks strong, but unfortunately it is cut off, and the white king is much weaker than the black king. In this position, yeah, white's pieces have got a very nice coordination, and unfortunately, the game is not, one cannot save the game anymore, and here Charlton resigned.
Tough game for Charlton, and much to learn from this. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next round's analysis. Thank you.